Hey, everybody. I am so excited to be with you. It is Friday night. I hope that y'all are having an amazing week and that you have had an amazing week. If you are catching me on the live, give me a hashtag live. If you're catching me on the replay, give me a hashtag replay. Say hi to Kitty Slider. This is Kitty Slider. And Kitty Slider has come looking for treats and catnip. And we are going to be talking about our Friday night wrap up. It is 10 p.m. here on the East Coast. And we're going to be talking about tying together all the pieces of your marketing. One of the things I have a lot of people do is they come to me and they'll be like, hey, I just need Facebook ads. I can't tell you how many businesses will come and they're like, I just need Facebook ads, or I just need Google ads, or I just need insert piece here. The reality is when we start doing marketing for a business, we have to look at everything holistically. The website, the social media presence, your Google My Business, all of that kind of stuff needs to tie together and it needs to all work together, or you end up spending a crap ton more money, and that's the technical term, crap ton, in your advertising expenses and down the road. Because if your marketing stuff is not all tied together, if it is not all working together, you are going to see a huge, massive increase in your advertising costs and in your SEO costs and everything else, because it doesn't work together. One of the things that we do with Facebook ads and Google ads when we're doing multi-channel advertising is that we do retargeting ads. Hey, Patty, good to see you. And retargeting means that basically when somebody visits a Facebook or visits a website, they get a pixel installed on their browser, and we know that they've been onto the website, and we can retarget them with ads that basically try to bring them back in or make a different offer to them. And we really like doing that because the cost for retargeted ads is much, much lower than doing ads to get people onto the website in the first place. We can take an email list and run ads to that email list and, get in front of people in order to do ads. And it is crazy powerful, but if you don't have that email list and you can't run ads to set groups of people, or you can't do those kinds of things, you lose a lot of the power that is inherent with Facebook ads and some of the Google ad stuff. When you do Facebook ads, there are interesting interplays that happen between your Facebook page and your Instagram page and the ads themselves. And Facebook will sometimes, if you have good content on your page, actually show the content on your page to more people than it might show it to otherwise. So one of the things that we particularly like to do here at Fiercely Marketing is tie together what you're posting on your social media with what's going on in your ads. It's not exactly the same, but we're trying to create a cohesive marketing plan. And then we're also posting that or similar topics on Instagram, on your LinkedIn business page, on Google My Business, and even on Pinterest where it's appropriate, because all of that is signaling to Google, it's signaling to Facebook, it's signaling to all the social media platforms what it is exactly that you're doing, and you're getting preferential treatment in your ads and with your social media. Contrast to the person who just comes to me for Facebook ads. And a lot of times people will come to me just for Facebook ads, and they completely ignore the fact that there are other advertising platforms out there. And I'll be honest, not every business does super well with Facebook ads. Hey, Elizabeth, good to see you. Just as not every business does well with Google ads. I'll give you an example. If you are running a challenge or a workshop, chances are your signups probably need to be through Facebook ads. If you have an auto shop or an auto garage, probably what we're going to have you do is do Google ads with pay-per-click, and then we're going to run retargeting ads for people who have been on your website on Facebook so that those people see you over and over again, and then they come back to you for more service, right? And then we're going to post on Google My Business so it shows up there, and then we're going to post similar information on Instagram and Facebook. So the idea is that we're tying it all together, and it lowers your advertising costs. It gets you a better rate of return. And I don't know about y'all, but anything that lowers my costs and gets me a better rate of return is a good thing. And just as like one of the things that we don't typically do with Google ads is just generally run ads to the front page of the website, unless it has a really killer website. And the reason for that is that sometimes it just doesn't yield the best results. So, we really like to have a very comprehensive marketing strategy for small businesses when we're putting stuff together. And it's not because it's a money grab. It's because it's the opposite. It's actually a whole lot of work to think through an overall strategy and actually create all the pieces and implement it. It is so much more work than just doing a simple Facebook ad strategy. It is exponentially more work. It's exponentially more thought. It's exponentially more effort. But the return for our clients is so much improved, because once you start seeing people on social media, once you start seeing them all over the place, it's like, wow, I'm seeing you everywhere. And that's because we're using good strategy. We're giving you that surround sound effect. And we're really, really focusing on getting all of the information together, into a very comprehensive package so that, the client, you, the business owner, benefits from that overall comprehensive marketing strategy. It's one of those things that I feel really passionate about. A lot of times we're looking at people going, okay, are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Where are you? Let's find ways to make things work for you. Now, one of the things I'm going to tell you about LinkedIn ads is that unless you have a super high-end ticket offer and it's targeted at a particular audience, I'm probably not going to recommend LinkedIn ads because the ROI is simply not going to be there. But, it may very well depend. If you're going after CEOs and you have a package that's $20,000 a year or more, it may make total sense to do LinkedIn ads. It just depends on your business. And I spend a lot of time saying it just depends, because really, when we start doing marketing for businesses and when we really start focusing on your business, putting all the pieces together and making them happen, it really does depend. It depends on the individual business. It depends on who your ideal client is. It depends on your target audience. It depends on their buying patterns. And the buying patterns of somebody in Morrisville may be very different than the buying patterns of somebody in Raleigh, may be totally different than somebody in New York, even if they otherwise have very similar demographics and interests. So we have to make sure that we really, really, really understand that audience and the buying patterns in that area. I'll give you an example. I live in a very lovely golf course community. We've had a ton of restaurants that fail miserably around us, because what happens is that we get all of these upscale dining and those kinds of things that people will put in around us, but they're ignoring some of the key factors. Is yes, they may have the income here in this area, but they're largely families and they largely cook at home. So putting in these more upscale restaurants, people just aren't there because they have kids, and they're probably not taking the kids there. They're probably taking the kids to Chick-fil-A around the corner. Irene, that is an awesome, awesome question. What about Pinterest ads? And Elizabeth also has an amazing question. So let's talk about Pinterest ads for a second. Pinterest can drive crazy amounts of traffic to a website. Absolutely crazy amounts of traffic for all kinds of things. You know, if you can make your business it all visual, if it's business related, if it's coaching related, even if you're a plumber, you can drive traffic using Pinterest ads. You'd have to have a pretty comprehensive pinning strategy if you were a plumber, but it can work beautifully. So yes, I agree so much with what Elizabeth just said. A diversified approach can be so helpful. You have to test it and then focus with progress. Yeah, and you have to test what you're doing and test your hypothesis. And you have to do a lot of A/B testing to make sure that what you're doing is actually going to work. And, you know, a lot of times things don't work exactly as planned. And we have to try multiple different iterations and multiple different ways of getting ads to work and getting people to respond. And, you know, you may have two really very similar images or two very similar ads. And because the couple pictured on those two ads is ever so slightly different, people strongly prefer one over the other. I mean, we've had ads that we've done for some clients where you think that the images are relatively similar, and yet they perform totally differently because the pictures of the clients, you know, people just react ever so differently to, you know, two different pictures. So you have to do all of that testing to make sure that what you're doing is going to work as well, you know, and having multiple versions of landing pages and having multiple versions of copy, it's all a thing that we do as part of what we do with digital marketing at Fiercely Marketing. It's really about testing and testing and testing and testing, finding something that works, and then we keep testing and finding other things that are going to work as well. And really getting into the heads and the hearts and the psychology of the stuff that we're doing. So Irene, it depends on the business. How often should you be running that ad? In general, we're going to try to leverage ads continuously. You can do short bursts of things, like you're running a challenge or you're selling tickets for an event, like I'm doing the When Summit, right? But typically what I see with clients to get the best results is doing continuous ads over time. And you kind of build on it, and it builds on itself, and you're building a comprehensive campaign, trying different things, and you're doing ads, you know, over a repeated time interval to get the best results. It's not like you do ads for 6 weeks and then you stop. It's a sustained campaign. You know, maybe it's at a lower level than you would do, you know, it all in a burst at once, but then you're taking advantage of multiple seasons. You're taking advantage of different people at different buying cycles. And, you know, unless people only buy stuff for Black Friday, in general, you know, keeping at it all the time will lead to smoother, steadier growth than trying to do it in bursts. But it really kind of depends on your exact business is how we're going to want to structure the ads. But I wouldn't be doing ads for a challenge in December unless I was a bit crazy. Oh, wait a minute. I did that last year with somebody and it worked, but it was much more expensive to do those ads. You have to pay attention to what else is going on in the marketplace when you are doing ads, because you could be competing against national holidays. You can be competing against Easter and Thanksgiving and people traveling. And, you know, it's all the stuff that you get when you are, you know, in business, is that you have all these holidays and other competing demands on people's times, effort, and energy. Like right now, you know, normally we would be hot and heavy into back to school, and some of us are back to school and some of us are not. So that is definitely affecting buying patterns and what people are doing and behavior at this point. So anywho, I hope that this helps just a bit. You know, I like to hang out on Friday nights and kind of, you know, take your questions. So if you guys have some questions, I love answering questions. Y'all can throw me anything you like. So, you know, make sure you hit me with your questions. And what questions can I answer for y'all? We've been doing the Build Your Tribe Challenge the last week or so, and it's been a lot of fun. So people will ask me a lot of times about what it takes to build a Facebook group. I just did a live challenge on it, and it just finished this week. And it was really, really cool. You know, it's a lot of fun and a lot of sustainable work to make it happen. Ooh, Elizabeth has a good one. If you're editing the same ads, does it help to leave the same website for that ad? If you keep editing the ads, it depends on several things. If you're controlling for different variables, you may want to make copies of a landing page that you're driving ads to, so you can really get a good feel for the differences in the traffic. So if I have two different pictures that I'm running ads for, I may have two copies of the same landing page that I'm running ads to. It depends on the client and how much we really, really need to test it and how much the budget is. Ideally, for every different campaign, you have a different landing page, because you want to see not just what are people clicking on, but what are people actually following through with at the end. Because it's nice that they clicked through, but they have to actually convert at the end of the day. They can't just click through. You know, if they click through and then bounce off, you know, you're going to really struggle with that. Can I put the same posts on Pinterest that I put on Facebook and Instagram? Yes, you can, although you may want to change the format slightly, and you always want to make sure that you have good copy to go with it, good keywords, because Pinterest is basically a visual search engine. And it searches based on the text that you provide it. So you have, you know, the pin is the graphic, and then you have the text. And the more you put in text-wise in those pins, the better they're going to tend to do. So it'll be similar, but it may not be exactly the same. Also, the size for Pinterest pins is slightly different than the size for an Instagram, which is square. So you have to decide if you're willing to have things that look a little bit weird on Pinterest, because they are a Instagram size. Because Instagram will not accept pins or posts that are not the right aspect ratio. And in fact, if you put something up that's slightly the wrong size on Instagram, it may allow you to post it, but what ends up happening is it gets truncated. Pinterest at least won't truncate the information. So you can put the same posts on Pinterest. One of the strategies, if you're using Pinterest, Patty, is finding good group boards that are active, that people are actively pinning to, and then participating in those. The other thing you can do is use Tailwind to build your tribe and to grow a tribe that way, and invite people to also, you know, pin to it and join other tribes, so that you are pinning to each other's boards and stuff. It is super important to get more visibility on Pinterest, that you're using and leveraging, you know, different techniques there. Is it possible to track where someone bounces on a specific website page? So yes, if somebody bounces, it means that they left the page. So there is specific software that can be installed on your website that tracks heat maps, that tracks people's actions on the website. This is kind of a more advanced monitoring technique that we don't typically do with our basic advertising plans. But if we're doing large dollars amounts, like we're doing multiple thousands of dollars a month in ads, we're probably going to be using software like this to track where somebody is bouncing as much as possible, so we can tell what people are doing. It also depends on what software you're using. So if you're using ClickFunnels, you may not have that information available versus doing a custom layout on WordPress and using heat tracking and heat mapping software that way. But you can definitely track it. Typically, the heat mapping software is going to be used just straight on a website, not just on landing pages. So we can track what people are doing on the website and what their mouse is doing and where they're scrolling and how they're doing certain actions on the website. It'll give you a good idea with the website how it's converting or not and where people are leaving and where they're falling off of the page. So if they come onto your landing page and they immediately pop off, you know that, versus they scrolled down halfway and they didn't find what they were looking for and then they popped back off. Heat mapping software is really, really cool. It just requires some specific skills to do it, and it can be fairly costly to do it as well. What other questions can I answer for y'all? And thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. This is so sweet. I am actually going to be headed to Virginia in the morning to take my youngest to school. We are looking forward to having him back in school again, physically in school. So it'll be really cool. Hey, Beth. Yes, you are live. We are live. I am here. I am here. I am definitely here. And Elizabeth, I'm glad that you'll look into, yeah, the heat mapping software is really cool. You know, the thing that you have to watch out for with websites is performance. So sometimes the more stuff that you put on your website, the boggier it can get. So you have to balance, you know, plugins and stuff on your website with security risk and speed and execution of the website. Yes, I am coming north to your state. I am headed to Waynesboro tomorrow. It's going to be a fast and furious kind of day because we are going to drive up and unload El Kiddo at school. And then we have a very limited time window in which to unload the car. And because he's going away to school and he's going to be living there, even though they provide all the uniforms, we still have like bags of, you know, underwear and towels and face masks and sheets and blankets and all that stuff. So I think it's going to be kind of fast and furious tomorrow. I'm hoping that we manage to get him completely unpacked in the 45 minutes that they give us, or that they are understanding if it takes us a bit longer to get his stuff unpacked. Because, well, folks, there's a lot of stuff involved. And, you know, it's entertaining when we start packing kids up. This is our second packing escapade this week, Elizabeth. So thank you. Yeah, we moved Zena back to Ohio to go to Xavier yesterday. So she moved into her apartment last night. My husband drove her up yesterday, unloaded the car, took her shopping, and left this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning and drove home. So it's been a crazy week in house. Yeah, Patty, I'm actually kind of worried about that. Watch him move out with twice as much stuff. I think that's also going to happen with Zena. She will move out of her apartment with probably 10x the stuff. I am not sure that after this move, she will fit back into a single car again. The car was packed tightly enough when they headed out yesterday morning that you probably couldn't fit a single paperclip into the car. So, you know, this is the reality of being a working mom who owns a business. I've been working on client stuff all day since before 10 o'clock this morning. It's 10 o'clock now. In the middle in there, we got the car packed and dinner cooked. And my older son started his senior year of high school yesterday. And he had his first fender bender. He rear-ended a girl And I told him that there's much easier ways to meet girls than to rear end them. He didn't think that was nearly as funny as I did. I think I embarrassed the ever-living snot out of my son with that one. And I'm kind of proud of it. But, you know, this is part of being a working mom and doing the business thing. You know, it's a lot about strategy and managing your time and being super careful with managing your time so that you are doing the right things in the right places at the right times, and scheduling stuff. Oh my gosh, how important is scheduling stuff, and being persistent and consistent with it. So I eat my own dog food. I do the same things I tell you guys to do. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Given that it is 10:40 p.m. and I have to be up at 5, I will talk to you guys on Sunday night. It will not be tomorrow night because I'm driving to Virginia and back tomorrow. I hope that you guys have an awesome weekend and that it's wonderful. Have a glass of wine in my honor tomorrow because I can't drink, but I would love to have a margarita. So if somebody will volunteer as tribute to have a margarita for me, or a daiquiri, that would be delightful as well. Please do. Thank you. Time management is so important. Yeah, love Dr. Flo with Joe on when talking about schedules. Yes, it is so important. You know, and it really feeds into all of the stuff about your marketing as well. And every aspect of our businesses is about schedule and time management, especially as we are scaling our businesses. You know, we underestimate how important it is to really manage time and schedules and all of that. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. So thank you for the kind comments. And I'm going to wish you guys a great night. I've been on for about 27 minutes. We will talk soon. See you Sunday night. Best wishes and have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.